The canine industry has been growing for over 6,000 years since wolves became domesticated by humans. They were used to either help with farming, protect livestock, or simply as companions for humans. Dogs have been evolving more than any other creature known to man due to selective breeding by humans, whether they're choosing characteristics for this animal or they just want desired look, which is how wolves eventually evolved into dogs like English bulldogs or pugs. Since I was around 7, my mum began to breed our Old English sheepdogs. We had female Old English sheepdogs and we began to breed them. My mum did it as a hobby, so annually we'd have a couple of puppies. There was a point when we had 13 because we had 2 dogs and they had litters around the same time. It is a really fun experience, although it is hard because you do have to make sure they're fed every hour. Sometimes some don't get enough because like runts, if there's a runt of the litter, the bigger ones push them out so they're not going to get enough milk. We actually had to hand rear a couple of the puppies just so they'd make it, but now most of them are big and strong. Although the breed is difficult simply because they're going pretty extinct because not a lot of people know about them. They're more commonly known as Gelux dogs.
Autumn is one of our dogs. Well, we breed Old English. They're not an easy dog to breed. Unfortunately, Old English, very clumsy. They are beautiful, loyal dogs. Need a lot of work, they need a lot of grooming. You could be there for hours and hours and hours. So not really a sort of an ideal pet for somebody because you literally have to keep on top of their coat. They don't molt. They just get very matted. And unfortunately, if you don't keep on top of them, the mats, they can cause them problems. And they can get infections because of bugs getting in them, grass seeds. So you literally have to keep on. So we keep Autumn short because where we go for a walk and everything. But Autumn, she's quite special to us because we breed Old English. And Autumn was one of 4. Old English, they can have good litters, they can come up to 10 or 11, but her mum only had 4. And you say, lost 2 of the puppies, but we don't know why. Don't think that she laid on them, but they just unfortunately lost those 2. Nearly lost Autumn and her brother Dylan. But me and my friend, we kept them alive, kept them warm. We fed them some sugar water to give them a bit of spruce, and then got in contact with the vet who come and took them for a little while. Chew fed them some special stuff which kept them alive. And then I had to go back again in a week's time to do another lot of tube feeding. Autumn, you can see, she's beautiful, she's healthy, she's bouncy, but the first sort of couple of days of her life we nearly lost her, but we've got her and she's 6 this year. Another thing, they are quite laid back, quite lazy. And I'd say if they had the choice, yes, they would go for a walk, but they not really want to go for long hours and hours. They'd rather be at home and sleep on the bed all day.
Well, we got into dog breeding back in '99. Back then, I had a Labrador and 1 Hungarian Vizsla, so just the 2 dogs. We just kind of expanded from there, kept a puppy back, ended up with sort of 3, then 4. By about the time that we got to about 2004, I got to the point that it was too much to do while you were going to work, so I had to make the decision of I either cut back on the dogs that I've got or I stop going to work and do it as a business. So I opted to do it as a business. The smallest litter that I've ever had was a 2 and the biggest was a 15. In total, over the years, I've had 36 litters. Older dogs, depending on sort of, what type of dog they are. Some retired out to sort of friends or family, or they'll stay here. Some, of course, prefer a quieter life where there's less dogs around and things to do. Others won't adjust to living with somebody else, so it's better for them to stay. So it's really on the individual dog and what's best for them. We've got quite a good vetting process here. So we do it a bit back to front, probably compared to what other people do. So we actually meet owners prior to puppies even being conceived. So every weekend here, we almost have like an open house and people come and visit us. They come and see the adult dogs and they have a chat with us about their lifestyle and what they're expecting from the breed. It gives us the ability to sort of talk to them, find out if they're suitable without there being puppies here, and then basically being blinded by cuteness and not listening to a word that I'm saying, and then making sort of, a bad choice and going off with one very quickly. What we found is the fact that they have to then wait possibly 6 to 7 months to get a puppy means they're quite dedicated to getting it right, rather than making a spare of the moment decision on a run out on a Sunday afternoon. Yeah, so any puppies that go, they have what's called a sort of like a sales contract on them. So the sales contract covers, from the beginning, basic stuff like our assurances to them that the puppy's healthy, our guarantees to them if their vet finds there to be a problem that perhaps our vet hasn't, or anything like that. Also covers elements of future care as in regarding if they wanted to breed from that dog in the future and how they would ensure that they were only producing healthy puppies. And the final part of the contract is regarding rehoming, which basically says that if they need to rehome their dog at any point, that they need to consult us first, and we will help them do so. There's lots around for sale, and there's a lot of very bad ones, I think, around. Obviously, you see a lot of imports in from Eastern Europe, and a lot of stuff that just simply isn't what it's advertised to be. I think I wouldn't like to be the person trying to buy one. I think it's a bit of a minefield if you're the buyer looking online. Yeah, I mean, mainly for us, if we're buying something in ourselves, we generally buy from overseas nowadays, mainly because our breed, the Hungarian Vizslas are a Hungarian breed, so there's more out in Hungary. We've got a select few breeders that we deal with, so we have quite a good working relationship with them, so we can trust them to be honest with us about the quality of what we're buying, and we know that pedigrees are correct and things like that. So that part of it's relatively easy. The harder part for us is it's basically import paperwork into the UK and sorting that type of thing out, because it obviously wants us to go through sort of your local DEFRA office and stuff like that, so it gets a bit technical. Nowadays, the Kennel Club has a very good database, which makes it quite easy. We also keep our own. So each breed, of course, has different requirements. Ours is quite minimal. The actual requirements for the Kennel Club are just hip scoring. However, the breed has a couple of other conditions that we DNA test for. Luckily, the conditions are, they're recessive conditions, so as long as one parent is clear, then you're not going to produce effective puppies. So when we're sort of looking at things, we're ensuring one parent is clear, we're making sure things are health tested. Anybody who's got a hip scored dog, they should have a certificate from the British Veterinary Association saying that they're hip scored, and nowadays it's viewable online as well with the Kennel Club. It varies. Statistically, of course, we need more girls than boys. Stud dogs have quite a long, working lifespan, whereas female dogs will have the maximum of 3 or 4 litters in a lifetime, so their breeding lifespan is a lot shorter than their physical lifespan, whereas a male dog will carry on breeding up until he's physically incapable. So he's probably got a 10 or 11 year breeding lifespan. So we keep more females for that reason, and I do tend to, when I keep them back, I keep a couple at a time.
Designer dogs are becoming increasingly more popular. Purebred breeds such as poodles, labradors, golden retrievers, beagles and more are being crossbred into breeds we now call designer dogs. The term came about because influencers or YouTubers were showing this designer dog, which are typically chosen for their characteristics bred into them. The problem is with these breeds, due to the popular demand, the purebreds selected don't typically have a good background of health history. In order to generate money due to the demand of these dogs, some breeders won't check the pedigrees of the dogs and therefore could produce unhealthy puppies. By selling them on to the new owners, they can come with many genetic disorders. Popular breeds like the pug are becoming more and more popular. Pugs and other flat-nosed breeds commonly suffer with breathing problems. Golden retrievers may suffer from cataracts and heart disease. Mixed breeds from the purebred dogs can have problems which can be painful and costly to owners.